May this interview be of service. May this concert be of service. Everything may be of service. Instead of, for a concert, I don't want people to come and say, wow, she's such a good musician, or she's got such great vocals and her musicians are so amazing. I want people to come and say, wow, I feel more like myself. I feel something in my heart has shifted. So this is my goal that I'm very devoted to. And I have to continue to remind myself, because I have a mind, I have desires, but it's a daily practice. It's a moment to moment practice.
Hallo Herz, schön, dass du eingeschaltet hast. Ich bin Nadine Gerhardt und dieser Podcast ist mein absolutes Herzensprojekt, um dich zu inspirieren auf deinem ganz individuellen Weg zu mehr Fülle, Liebe und Lebensfreude. Snatam de Wunder. Heute geht es um das Thema Hingabe. Und zu diesem Thema habe ich die perfekte Interviewpartnerin. Dazu machen wir einen Ausflug in die USA, und zwar zur amerikanischen Mantrasängerin Snatam Kaur. Und du merkst vielleicht schon an meiner Stimme, dass ich ein wenig berührt bin, und ich erzähle auch gleich warum. Snatam Kaur wurde 2019 für die American Grammy Awards nominiert. Sie zählt zu den weltweit meistgehörtesten Mantrasängerinnen. Ihre Mantra-Version von Om Namo Gurudev Namo wurde allein auf YouTube, da gibt es nämlich ja noch Spotify und iTunes und so weiter, über 21 Millionen Mal geklickt. Snatam Kaurs Engelsstimme ist unvergleichlich und in ihr schwingt so viel Liebe. Snatam ist in die Kundalini Yoga und Sikh Tradition hineingeboren und daher ist sie auch sehr verbunden mit den Gurumukhi Mantras, die du immer wieder im Kundalini Yoga hörst und chantest. Und sie hat mittlerweile 17 Alben produziert. Ihr allerneuestes Album heißt Niranka. Und das wurde vor 8 Wochen veröffentlicht und das ist so herzöffnend. Und ja, warum laufen mir die Tränen? Warum bin ich so berührt? Du darfst wissen, dieses Interview ist mein allererstes Interview gewesen. Ich hatte noch nicht mal ein Mikro. Da gab es noch nicht mal den Heute, Podcast. Er war nur geplant. Und wie du weißt, vertraue ich sehr meiner Intuition und höre darauf, wann welche Episode und damit auch welches Interview veröffentlicht werden soll und wo es noch keinen Impuls gibt. Und genau bei diesem Interview gab es lange keinen Impuls. Das Interview war im März 2019. Was soll ich sagen jetzt? What? Ja, es war im März 2019. Und ich habe überhaupt nicht verstanden, warum. Also es gab die ganze Zeit keinen Impuls. Bis vorhin. Das Interview mit Snatam fand ein paar Wochen vor einem ausverkauften Konzert in Deutschland statt. Und zwar in Neu-Isenburg, wo ich verrückterweise seit einem halben Jahr wohne. Ich habe Snatam nach dem offiziellen Teil des Interviews erzählt, dass ich mit Freunden auf ihr Konzert komme und dass unsere schwerkranke Freundin Andrea uns begleiten wird. Und wenn du fleißiger Heute Podcast-Hörer oder Hörerin bist, dann kennst du Andrea. Denn sie ist der eigentliche Grund, warum es diesen Podcast hier überhaupt gibt. Denn sie hat mir von der anderen Seite des Regenbogens metaphysisch immer wieder mitgeteilt, dass es Zeit ist für diesen Podcast hier. Und mit ihr habe ich auch relativ zum Start dieses Podcasts eine 5-teilige Interviewreihe gemacht zum Thema Rendezvous mit dem Tod, wo es um bewusstes Sterben ging. Zu diesem Zeitpunkt der Veröffentlichung von dieser 5-teiligen Reihe hat sie Andrea schon ihren irdischen Körper verlassen und ist nach Hause gegangen. Das Snatam Kaur Konzert, zu dem sie im Rollstuhl hingefahren wurde von uns, und sie hatte an diesem Tag so starke Schmerzen, war das letzte Mal, als er aus dem Krankenhaus bzw. aus dem Hospiz rausgekommen ist. Und das macht dieses Konzert und das Interview von Snatam so besonders. Und an diesem Abend des Konzerts hat sie ein Mantra gespielt. Sie hat natürlich ganz viele Mantras gespielt, ja. Aber es gab ein Mantra, dieses eine Mantra, Akal. Und Akal ist ein Mantra, was uns daran erinnern möchte, dass wir als Seele unsterblich sind. Und was Sterbende im Sterbeprozess hilft, nach Hause zu gehen. Und Snatam hat an diesem einen Abend eine Version gespielt, die ganz neu war, die keiner kannte und die nicht auf dem Beloved-Album drauf war, was sie vor 3 Jahren veröffentlicht hat. Und diese Mantra-Version, die verbindet jede Zelle meines Körpers mit Andrea. Und als ich eben so nebenbei mal bei Snatam vorbeigeschaut habe, habe ich entdeckt, dass sie vor 8 Wochen ein ganz neues Album namens Niranka rausgebracht hat. Und rate mal, was Snatam 3 Jahre später für ein Mantra in dieses neue Album gepackt hat. Diese eine Mantra-Version von Akal. Und es ist so eine wunderschöne Version. Und wenn du dir jetzt noch bis zum Schluss dieses wundervolle Interview mit Snatam Kaur anhörst, dann, mir läuft so die Nase, dann wird sie unter anderem auch von einem Mantra-Album erzählen. Moment, ich muss mal kurz Pause machen und mir die Nase schneuzen. Sorry. Da bin ich wieder. Also, wenn du dir bis zum Schluss dieses wundervolle Interview mit Snatam Kaur anhörst, dann wird sie unter anderem auch von einem Mantra-Album erzählen, was Frauen unterstützt, die den Wunsch in sich tragen, Mama zu werden. Und das ist die perfekte Überleitung zum kommenden Podcast-Thema am 8.8., nämlich das Thema Kinderwunscherfüllung. Und warum berührt mich das so, so sehr? Es zeigt mir, dass Leben und Tod so nah beieinander sind. Wenn etwas stirbt, kommt etwas Neues. Es ist der Lauf des Lebens. Oder wie wir im Kundalini Yoga sagen, Satanama. Es zeigt mir, dass das Leben so perfekt ist, dass es nichts braucht, dass das Leben genauso, wie es richtig ist, durch dich hindurch wirken möchte, wenn du es zulässt. Du musst dich einfach nur, Trommelwirbel, du musst dich einfach nur hingeben. Ich wünsche dir ganz viel Freude und Berührung mit diesem tollen Interview mit Snatam Kaur.
I'm very, very happy that we meet each other here. And my first question: how did you get to your task, to your calling?
Yes, thank you. I, as you said, grew up in the Kundalini Yoga and Sikh tradition, and which mantras, sacred chants, are a key part of the practice. And I learned at a very young age how powerful these chants are to heal and shift energy, to bring joy. And so as I grew up, these chants became a part of my life, and I developed a very close relationship with them. And then in my late 20s, I became a certified Kundalini Yoga teacher. and there was this shift that happened for me, in which I transformed, and I wanted to be able to teach and to give these mantras to people. And I began to see how that was possible through the teaching of Kundalini Yoga and sharing sacred chants within that medium. That was kind of a very important time in my life. And right around this time as well, I had been inspired by Yogi Bhajan, who is the founder of Kundalini Yoga, and who also brought the Sikh tradition to the West. And he organized these peace prayer days where people would come from all different religions and pray for peace and share their songs of peace from their tradition. And I saw how powerful this was as an act of prayer. And I saw that I could, as a Sikh woman, bring my chants out to the world, that they could be for people of all walks of life, and that it was important to do so for the planet and for bringing peace as my work of peace. So it all became very clear around this time that this was my work.
So you also teach children, huh?
Yes, I do. I've always been very drawn to teaching children. I just enjoy being around them, for one. And I learned also from my spiritual teacher, Yogi Bhajan. I observed him through classes and community, that he would relate to children on a soul-to-soul level. He wouldn't look down on them as being less capable of spiritual growth. And sometimes he was a little bit tough with with kids. He'd challenge them. And I found this to be also the case with myself. He looked at me and saw me as a soul. And I just was so inspired by this, and realized in my own experience of teaching children that when I related to them on the soul-to-soul level, that all was possible, that I could really convey and teach them concepts from yoga, meditation, and the Sikh tradition that would have a lasting impact on their lives, give them actual tools, for finding their own inner courage, dealing with stress like all of us have to. Yeah. There are some very powerful tools within the Kundalini Yoga and Sikh tradition, and so I felt very called to teach children. And I made a yoga class video for children. Oh, wow. To watch and do their own yoga practice every day, called Shanti the Yogi.
Great. So yeah. How do you challenge kids, or how did it Yogi Bhajan? Is it like more physical, or?
Well, for example, I am teaching a music class for children, where I teach them how to sing. And, the thing about children is that they are young, and they have the whole world in front of them, and they can do anything that they choose to. So, there was this one little boy in my class. He was kind of the rough and tumble guy, and I was teaching a singing class, and I asked him to sing, and he looked at me as if I was crazy at first, and so did the other kids, like, don't you know, like, he can't sing, and he looked at me like, don't you know I can't sing, and I just pushed ahead, and I said, come on, let's hear you. And it was really beautiful, because he actually did sing, and he did have that experience. So that's the beautiful thing about children, is they don't have any limitations.
Yes.
And that's how I push children. I don't see the limitation that they have created, or that parents have created for them.
Fantastic! Wow. And what does this way mean for your everyday life? What
For
does
my
everyday life look like?
okay.
Wake up very early. You have sadhana in the morning, or what are the challenges for you?
Yeah. I am very devoted to my early morning sadhana practice. I feel that it's what keeps me alive. It's what keeps me creative. It's the best kind of vocal support that I can do, because my vocals have less to do with the vocal cords, but more to do with just connecting with spirit. And then when I sing, it's not really about if I'm catching high notes or doing something technically fancy. It's about connecting with spirit. So my early morning practice is super key for that. I do yoga and I meditate and I chant every morning. Even some mornings when my alarm clock didn't wake me up or something, I always get something in, because it's just a rhythm that I've been with for so long, and that helps me so much. So I do that, and I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I'm married. So then I'm helping my daughter get ready for school. My husband and I are working together to do that. And then my husband and I actually run our own touring business, where to be able to do all of these tours and travel all over the world. So then my husband and I work together during the day, and at night our daughter comes home, and we have an evening together, and we meditate together at the end of the day.
Daughter?
Yes, with all three of us, we meditate. We do the Satanama meditation, Kirtan Kriya. And this is really beautiful. And then afterwards, after we've meditated, we share together. Each person takes a turn to share an awesome moment in their day, and then a not so awesome moment in their day. And this is our routine. So I'm definitely in my spiritual path and in my practice. It's definitely about family. It's not like I have my spiritual practice off to the side and then my family life. I'm often practicing with my husband in the early mornings before the sun rises. We're practicing with our daughter, because these spiritual concepts are so helpful for day-to-day life and harmony, communication, kind of keeping the boat afloat, so to speak.
So it's also beautiful to do sadhana with your husband in the morning. So it's a very good start.
Yes, we. It's been a really lovely thing to be able to practice with him, and it's also really important to keep finding ways to spend special time together. So sometimes that's our special time together.
So how is working together if you work all day with your husband? What are the challenges?
We have worked on this for quite a few years. At first, we got into a lot more fights than we do now. we're both really passionate about what we do, and we both love the spiritual path. And we realized early on that it was really important to communicate and talk things out, but maybe more important was to always take some time away from work, from family life, and just go on a date and not talk about work, not talk about parenting or anything, but to just love each other, or, you know, to, if we didn't have time for a whole date going out, then maybe just giving each other a foot rub at night, or just taking moments to give each other hugs, and to be kind to each other, because we realized that in the day-to-day working relationship, that life got moving pretty fast, and if we didn't care for each other or love each other, that it was easier to get into arguments, and easier to not to feel heard or loved. So it's been important, you know, to take that time. And I think we've realized too, you know, it's important to find compromise and find peace. There's that saying that it's better to be at peace than to be right. So oftentimes I find that either he or I are letting go of I'm the right one, and just finding peace with each other, and trusting each other, knowing he's very good at what he does. I'm very good at what I do, and we've learned to you know, trust each other, and that's helpful as well.
Beautiful. What does music mean for you?
Well, music is a language of love. It's a universal language. I find that you know, somehow if I say to you, I am love, and don't you believe it, that, you know, I am love, that, and can you sing it too, so you can believe, or can you say it too, so that you can believe that you're love? Well, we can do that talking, but if I put music to it, and I sing I am love with music, and you sing I am love with the music, then it has a whole other meaning and goes so much further into the soul space. So I find music is an incredibly powerful tool to get really important messages across, the message of love that's within the mantras, within the sacred chants that we sing. And music just kind of opens the avenues for those messages to go in and be penetrated into the body system in a much deeper way than otherwise.
That's true. And what happens in you when you sing your songs, your music?
Well, I can describe it as you know, in really simple terms, that, you know, I just, my stress levels disappear. any kind of trace of stress just goes. I feel a sensation of light, you know, just I feel lighter in my heart, and happy. These are the things that happen to me when I'm singing. That's why I love touring so much, because I get to do that and sing these sacred chants with people. And it's not just singing anything, it's the sacred chants I know that are doing this very powerful work, of releasing stress and coming back to, I find it's about coming back to who we are. I don't find that I'm become something different or something else. It's about just releasing the stress, releasing the tension, going into a more expanded state of awareness into who I am, into the reality of life, and then feeling within that perception and experience, feeling then who I am, feeling what is the self, what is the center of my being. And really it's just about coming back to that. And that's what music and sacred chant does for me.
Yeah, the feeling who you really are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you feel the because if you are on the stage, there are maybe sometimes hundreds or thousands of people. Can you feel the energy of the people?
I feel like I do have an experience of the energy of the people as a whole after doing this for so many years. It's more just when I'm sitting on stage, I'm connecting with that group consciousness and having a conversation with that group consciousness. And it feels like a good friend. Like if there's like 1,000 people there, and that's again the power of sacred chant and mantra, is that it puts you into this universal awareness and consciousness where you're singing to the divine within each person. And so the divine within each person has a chance to be felt and seen and heard. And to me, it's kind of like coming in contact with a good friend and singing to a good friend and listening to a good friend. It becomes very intimate and very close.
Is it a difference if you have 10 people with you or like 1,000 people? What is the difference for you? Goes it deeper when you have 1,000 people?
I mean, sometimes it just really depends on, the circumstances of the day, the circumstances of life. This type of chanting that we're doing, it is basically what's called Shabad Guru. Mm-hmm. Shabad Guru is sound current as teacher. And this comes from the sacred Sikh tradition. And so the Shabad Guru as teacher, the sound can become the teacher, the sound can work if it has the right atmosphere set up, if people's hearts are open to it, and if there's devotion. So sometimes 10 people will be able to open up that space more than 1,000 people will be able to. It's an interesting thing because I've come to realize that I have my part to play to open up the space or to call upon it, but it's really the will, the Guru's grace that decides, and I have no control over that. And it's a lesson that I'm still having to learn, because sometimes I think that I do have control. So it's really about the Guru's space and the Guru's message and the Guru's energy that is available for healing and available for incredibly deep transformation. But the circumstances all have to be right. And I find that with my daily practice and also with the band that I'm working with, which is a group of incredibly devoted, clear, beautiful people. And then the intention, the prayers of everybody who comes to these sacred chants, that energy of the Shabad Guru space, it usually can open up, and I should correct myself. I do feel that every time these sacred words are sung, that space of Shabad Guru does open up. It does, even if we're idiots and not aware of it or not honoring it. But the energy does come through. But the more we become aware of it, the more we are in tune in our hearts and our minds, the more that healing energy can be made available. And I teach about this now. It's through the Shabad Guru Soul Radiance courses that I do with my mother, because I find that many people aren't aware. They think, oh, I want to become a good singer. I want to learn these mantras. I want this good energy. But actually, it's about the Shabad Guru and connecting with that, and finding the way to bring that into one's life.
So it has nothing to do like I need to have some lessons about singing. It's more the connection.
Yeah. And it goes without saying that if you have those lessons and you learn how to sing, or you have lessons, you learn how to play the guitar or the piano, all the things will help you for sure. But at the end of the day, and the bottom line is your spiritual connection, with Shabad Guru, and your willingness to allow it into your life.
Yes. Okay. What means guru for you? Because I think in the Westerner people, sometimes they don't understand what's a guru.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guru means that which brings you into awareness. And oftentimes people will think of a guru as a person. And the beautiful thing about the Sikh tradition, which is where my music comes from, is that guru is it manifested within the sacred chants and the poems themselves. And there was a time when there were 10 living gurus from the Sikh tradition that lived on the earth plane, and they shared incredible teachings, and many of them shared writings, poetries, and music. So when the 10th guru, when he left his physical body, before leaving, he actually anointed the guruship into this body of writings from the Sikh masters, and also masters of other traditions and faiths. So that became our guru. So we don't bow to any person. We actually bow to the sound vibration. And so for me, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Shabad Guru. Shabad is the act of chanting or singing in such a way that there's no ego involved. And then Guru is tuning into that essence of Guru through the teachings of the Sikh tradition. Now, granted, people can experience this energy from any walk of life, any traditional, any path, but it's just important to understand the origin, and the technology, which is very unique and beautiful.
And can you feel how these songs swing out of the world if you have a concert, or if you chant alone or something?
Yeah, I am in awe of how these chants are going out into the world. it's really beyond any vision that I ever understood, or ever could imagine. I think that it's given me a lot of understanding in that when we follow our heart, we follow the soul. My heart and my soul guided me to sing these sacred chants and to share and to teach them to people in such a way that they could be uplifted. That it's just, there's no limit to how far the reach is and to how many people can be served. So yeah, to this day I receive messages from people that are utilizing the music and in so many different countries in so many different ways that is just astounding.
And we are in a process right now where it's sometimes very difficult. Life is very difficult. Like yes, you have a lot of challenges right now because Yogi Bhajan said it's the Aquarian age. And do you have any, or can you recommend from a yogic perspective something in these turbulent times?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's one mantra which is maybe very important for this time, or a practice, rituals?
Yes, you know, I feel that there's there are many mantras that one can chant, and honestly, it's just to chant. You know, that whatever mantra is in your heart and touches you, to get it going and vibrate it. Have a morning practice with it, so it comes into your subconscious, and sing it throughout the day. Sing it at night before you're going to bed, to keep you uplifted, to keep you in a state of just being able to be yourself, because there are the pressures are intense and extreme. But we do have the tools, you know, with Kundalini Yoga and meditation. We have everything that we need to remain strong and to remain vibrant. There's a particular chant right now that feels very powerful, called Sat Narayan Waheguru Hari Narayan Satanam.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Right.
Yeah. This is on my beloved album.
Yeah, I know. I love this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a meditation that one can practice with it. I have the instructions actually in German.
Oh wow, that's fun. You can send it to me, so I can send it. I can bring it under the video.
Yeah, I will, and I would recommend this. I actually practiced it in on our last concert tour, and shared it with people. And it's called a heart shield meditation, and it you know, everybody has an energetic field around them where they're collecting vibrations and frequencies from other people, and they're also projecting who they are out into the world. And sometimes our auric field or energetic field can get kind of bogged down, and this is where, you know, disease first starts, is that when our energetic field has kind of a heaviness to it. So you can keep your auric field strong and vibrant, and this allows you to remain vibrant within yourself and healthy, and then also give this energy of health out into your relationships and into the world. So this heart shield meditation is really powerful for that. And so I'd love to share that.
So many people have so much stress. It's so stressful. I have the feeling also with the stress, it's a kind of fear. It's not, when you're not connected, it's a kind of fear. And what about you? Do you always feel connected? Or do you have sometimes a moment where you said, okay, where I am, where are you? I don't know, something like this?
Yeah, I have those kind of moments all the time. And it's a constant practice to bring myself back to center. And I give credit to my daily practice that really helps me to remain in my center. And then also just, having people around me that are also doing a daily spiritual practice. Oftentimes my husband will just be like, don't take yourself so seriously. What are you trying to be perfect for? Because, I have this whole thing where I'm a, sacred chant musician, and I should be perfect. I should be totally spiritually wise all the time and never make a blunder or mistake. And, things happen. I'm not perfect, and I do make mistakes. And I think the greatest freedom for me is realizing, okay, well, I don't have to be perfect. And there are times when I kind of come out of balance. And, I think that concept of don't take yourself too seriously is really important. It's like if you put yourself up on a pedestal, you think, I'm so great, I'm so wonderful, I'm so spiritual today, I'm really doing such a good job. The higher you do that, then when something happens, then you have further to fall and it hurts. So I found that it's best to remain humble. I work on that a lot, just remaining humble and in service as much as I can, and doing things with humility and service. Oh God, oh Guru, may this be of service. May this interview be of service. May this concert be of service. Everything may be of service. Instead of, for a concert, I don't want people to come and say, wow, she's such a good musician, or she's got such great vocals and her musicians are so amazing. I want people to come and say, wow, I feel more like myself. I feel something in my heart has shifted. So this is my goal that I'm very devoted to. And I have to continue to remind myself, because I have a mind, I have desires, but it's a daily practice. It's a moment to moment practice.
How about your school life? I know you went to India when you was 6 years old. It was your first time. But how was the life in this time for you?
Yes. Well, yeah, I was always very much into my identity of being a Sikh, up until the point when my father decided that he didn't want to be a Sikh anymore. And then I kind of questioned, but then I kind of came around, and then I really owned the path for myself, and I was very much into it. I found that I was able to go to the Waldorf school for a good portion of my education, which was really foundational and helpful, I think, for me in terms of feeling confidence and feeling a sense of self-worth, and a sense of respect for others. So this was really, really important. And my husband and I send our daughter to a Waldorf school now. We feel that that's such a important thing. Waldorf has so much to give in terms of self-worth for children. But then I also, at a certain point, because our family couldn't afford it, then I did actually go to public school, and also just the circumstances of our life. And by the time that I went to public high school, I was very strong in my identity as a Sikh, and I was meditating every day and doing my yoga every day. And it was interesting. I found that because I was so clear and so strong, that I was actually admired by the cheerleaders, by the football players, by all the other kids in their different cliques. I was considered like, wow, she's cool. Whereas just a couple years before, in middle school, I had some doubt. I was not sure of myself, and then I got teased a lot, and felt energetically like kind of preyed upon by a couple of students. But then when I switched the energy around inside myself, and I became cool to myself, that I'm a Sikh and I love this path. Then I went to high school with that energy, and then I was like the coolest, and
Seeing that your father decided to leave the Sikh path, how was it for you? Was it challenging, or was it okay for you? What was the feeling with you?
It was challenging, and I grew up. My father was, everything to me. I was very much admired him and loved him, and when he decided he didn't want to be a Sikh anymore, I was kind of went right along with him, and but then I realized in that process that no, I actually want to be a Sikh, and I want this path. And it took, at that point, our relationship and kind of got cut. I wasn't able to really connect with him in a loving way for many years after that, and it's even a little challenging at times even now. But I am very committed to, again, that concept of, I think I'd rather have peace in my life. I'd rather have a connection with my father than not. And so we continue to work on a relationship and continue to find love, even though it's challenging at times.
Yeah, sure. It's not always easy.
No.
And that's life. I think that's life, that we have this things we need to learn. We can transform it, and that's why we are here, to
Yes.
bring ourselves in unconditional love.
Yes.
Do you even listen to your songs?
No.
No.
I listen. Oftentimes I don't listen, and then after creating an album, maybe like 5 or 6 years later, then I'll listen and I was like, wow, that's cool, because then it becomes just a part of my life. It's like looking back and seeing pictures of your family when they were younger. The music itself expresses so much of who I am. And oftentimes with the recorded music, I just need some space from it because there's so much energetically and emotionally, physically, spiritually that went into creating it, that I just often as an artist need to kind of step back and give some distance to it. So it's interesting, you know, my husband, he listens to my music all the time, and he, you know, he's he's really into it. But no, I don't, and I listen to other music,
like hip hop or jazz.
Yeah, not so much. I'm actually very much into I really strongly believe that the vibrations that we listen to, that we're exposed to, affect us, and I do feel that a lot. And there's not a lot of hip hop or jazz that, to me, has like a super positive message. There's some music that does, but I tend to really stay within the spiritual music genre. You know, with like David Permal, and I love Ajit. I love Naranjan Kaur, Jai Jagdish. I love. There's a new album that's that I'm singing on. Actually, this one I can listen to a lot, and it's called Mountain of Smoke. It's an album that's all in English, and it's by Liv Tarsing. It's being released this Friday officially, and that album I'm so in love with. I could listen to that over and over again. So that's just to kind of give you an idea. I do love, you know, I do love music, and I love listening to things to kind of get more ideas and expansion. But I have to be honest with you. I listen to very, very little in that world, because I do feel that it's important to have positive vibrations coming into your being. And it's just not a whole lot, you know, from that genre.
Yeah, that's true. Also, with hip hop, I don't think so. There's DJ. How is it called? DJ Yogi.
MC Yogi. Yeah, he's awesome. I love him. Yeah, I should check him out more. I really love him. I had a really positive experience with him some years back, and I just started following him on Instagram. So I think that, yeah. I'll check him out some more.
Yes, and you have also an album with your mother.
Yes.
I think it's about birthing. There's also the song Putamata Kia Sees. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. So you chant with your mother?
Yes. My mother, you know, people ask me, well, who taught you how to sing kirtan? And I'd say, you know, I have two teachers. One was my mother, and one was Yogi Bhajan. I feel like Yogi Bhajan gave me the energetics of it. My mother gave me the love for it. I grew up listening to her sing, and many of the songs that she sang, the shabads, the sacred songs, I learned and began to sing also to my daughter. And this one in particular, Putamata Kiasis, it's on an album that we made together that specifically for mothers, it has chants that can help a woman through the process of becoming pregnant, through conception and childbirth, and then through the experience of motherhood and fatherhood too. these are important prayers for the father to chant and sing as well.
Do you think that mantras can have negative effects? Or can you do something wrong? I know sometimes people say it's very important to have a right intonation of a mantra, and sometimes the people say, okay, try it, and then it will be right.
I think that it's important with mantras to have correct pronunciation. I feel that this is really helpful. The mantras of the Kundalini Yoga tradition come from the language of Gurumukhi. And this kind of really makes all the difference. It's like if you are practicing yoga and somebody says, put your arms up at 60 degrees and do breath of fire. They're giving you a particular posture, and then the energy flows because you're holding that posture. Well, the same goes with pronunciation, that if you're having the correct pronunciation, the energy just flows more. Now, of course, it's all kind of a mixture of everything, because if you have great pronunciation, but your mind is elsewhere, then forget it, then there's no benefit to that. Or if you have terrible pronunciation, but you have all the devotion, then there's a lot of benefit there. But if you have great pronunciation and devotion, then you have like the best in both worlds, and you can really increase the amount of bliss that you're having. That's my experience. So I feel that that's key, is to learn the original language, because the mantras themselves have a particular rhythm and sound, and once people are empowered with this, then they're able to have a deeper experience. So if you don't have the opportunity to learn the language yourself, then you can at least learn from somebody who has good pronunciation. And that's, I listed all the artists that I like to listen to generally have good pronunciation that I mentioned before. My mother has wonderful pronunciation. So you can, you don't necessarily have to learn the language as long as you're getting the correct pronunciation. So, I think mantras can never have a negative effect. I think it's the mind. Anybody who says that, a mantra is dangerous, it's just like way too much mental stuff going on for that person. Kundalini Yoga is dangerous. Like that, they're not practicing the Kundalini Yoga that I know. It's about finding your inner flow, finding your way to your kindness, to your love. It's about feeling better about yourself. It's very simple. So anybody who kind of goes to somewhere else with it is, in my opinion, too much in their mind.
So it's also, if you chant the mantra wrong, like in wrong words, it's also not dangerous.
No, definitely not. I think what becomes dangerous, just in the sense of disrespect to the soul, is when people begin to kind of sexualize the presentation of mantras. Not that there's anything wrong with sex. There's not. It's a sacred act in and of itself. But in the presentation in a public forum, the sexualization of mantras and everything, I feel that becomes dangerous only in the sense that the mantras lose their power and potency and effect. And then this kind of expression of mantra is spreads because can become like a teaching moment, and somebody takes that up and says, well, this is how I'm gonna do the mantras too, and I'm gonna act this way with them. And that's where the danger is, I think, is because then the actual potency of the mantra, the sacredness of it, gets lost in the mix.
How important is a regular repetition of a mantra?
It's very important. It takes a lot of time for mantras to settle in. I feel that, doing a 40-day practice of a mantra is really important. Ideally, we're just chanting these mantras all the time. And the way that that's possible is by having a really strong daily practice where you chant, and then it's just vibrating within your nose and your cheeks and your body. That's the purpose of daily practice. So you can go about your work and do your work, be on the phone, but still the mantra is vibrating within you. So this is important. And then taking time to do particular intensive practices like White Tantric Yoga or the German Yoga Festival or Kundalini Yoga Festival, where you're just chanting all day long and cleansing it out. Very important and key for maintaining a sense of self within our stressful world, and kind of, immersing yourself in a mantra is really super key. So I find that, I do my daily practice, but then I also have mantras playing in my kitchen, playing in the background, and try to come back to the mantra. Like after this phone call, I'm going to take a few minutes and just, come back and chant a little bit just to keep connected.
Do you know, like individual letters, how do they have a meaning? Like you see, you have love in Germany, it's like Liebe, it's light, or Allah with this L or something. Do they have a meaning?
I do feel that different sounds, different languages have an energy to them. And there are certainly, in yogic terms, in Kundalini Yoga, there are specific syllables, like sa is the generation of life, ta is the experience of life, na is death, ma is rebirth. And all of the sounds that have to do with mother energy, I find that are very powerful. Sometimes we just chant ma, but I don't spend so much time going into the meaning, but more spending time with the feeling. I feel that that's important to remain in our feeling state, in our heart state.
How important is the language of a mantra? Because you have Gurmukhi, you have Sanskrit, it could be German or English. How important is it?
Well, I know with the Gurumukhi language that it's a specific language to produce healing through the combinations of the sounds. And it was specifically designed and delivered for that purpose. So, it's kind of like a medicinal language in a certain sense. But, I find that all languages have beautiful aspects to them, and sometimes it's important to sing something in someone's own language, an affirmation or something. And I know that Yogi Bhajan created affirmations, certainly in English and not just mantras. But I do feel that, mantras are basically a projection of the mind into truth and light and love and the essence of self.
What's most fascinating for me is your angelic voice, and there's something happen. I see it with other people, a lot of crying. What happens there?
I can only say that I feel that it's my my sadhana practice, my meditation practice, and tuning into, the guru, the energy of guru, Shabad Guru, that's really all that I can say, is that my singing, my singing comes from the spiritual practice. It's and there's really nothing more to it than that. And the spiritual practice, the intention of that is to connect with the universal presence of God in all beings, and that's what I sing to. And I have the gift of guru from the Sikh tradition, that guides me to that universal consciousness without fail. That teaches me, that chisels my ego, and gives me all the opportunities to connect with that universal consciousness. So any connection with that is really Guru's grace.
You have a wonderful book. I have that since years.
Yes.
Still alive. I got it from a really good friend from America. I met him in India, and we did the teacher training with Gurmukh there. And he also wrote, Nadine, we keep up with each other and we are kept up, and some other words. And it's a very, very beautiful book. And there's one story in it about a soldier who came from Iraq, and he had a big trauma, and he couldn't cry. But then I think his wife had the Ramadasa, this chant, and he cried a lot about it. And what do you think? Which power has like healing mantra, healing circles? What is the power behind that?
It's these, very essential sounds. Ra is the energy of the sun, Ma is the moon, Da is earth, Sa infinity, Sa say so hung unto infinity. In every cell and fiber let there be healing. And these syllables have an incredible power to them, that somebody even just listening can have a healing experience with them. I think it's also our intention in creating the music, the intention with the recording. It was to heal and create this vibration of healing for people. But above and beyond all of that is the essence of, again, the guru, the essence of sound current as teacher coming through. And I strongly feel and believe that the energy of guru is what I'm serving. With every recording, with every time that I sit my bottom down to play the harmonium, that's serving the guru. And I feel that that's why the energy comes through the recordings, is that's the energy of the guru coming through and healing people But it starts off with a belief. I think that many people just choose not to believe. They choose not to have faith, and they discard the possibility of miracle. And I choose to believe. I choose to have faith that the Guru is working through my music, and is there for everyone who listens.
Maybe we talked about before that we can finish with a mantra, with a small mantra. What do you think about? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do this. Sat Narayan.
Oh yeah.
Sat Narayan Waheguru
Yeah.
Hari Narayan Satanam.
That's a beautiful.
So, yeah, Sat is the energy of truth. Narayan is so many things. Narayan is this energy of God that manifests in many, many ways, in courage, in flow, in love. So then we'll chant Sat Narayan Waheguru. That's the mantra of transformation. And then Hari, the seed of the divine. Narayan, that divine energy. Satanam becomes the identity. So I hope to share this in Germany, this mantra, with people, and it's also on my album, the Beloved album, that people can listen to as well. So here we go. I'll start singing. And how long do you think we should go for?
Only a short one.
Okay, all right, we'll do short. Okay, all right. All right, so,
go for it.
Yeah, 2.5 hours later, right?
3 minutes, something like that. I don't know.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Sat Narayan Waheguru Hari Narayan Satanam. 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 Sat Narayan Waheguru Hari Narayan Satanam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all your good questions. And good energy.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, take care. Satnam.
War das ein tolles Interview mit Snatam Kaur. Es hat in mir so viel mehr Frieden und Hingabe ans Leben gebracht. Und ja, wow, es kam ja vor einigen Wochen der Impuls, dass ich das jetzt bald bringen werde. Und dann kam die Reihenfolge, ohne dass ich dieses Interview vorher angehört habe. Also es lag wirklich lange in meinem Ordner. Und dann kam plötzlich dieser Impuls. Und ja, das Leben zeigt, diese Impulse, denen solltest du immer wieder vertrauen, denn das ist dein Seelenimpuls. Das kommt tief aus oder von weit oben, wie auch immer du es siehst, her. Und die Intuition, die wird immer das Richtige für dich entscheiden. Und apropos Intuition, falls deine Intuition dir schon mitgeteilt hat, dass du mit nach Island möchtest, nach Reykjavik und Island erkunden möchtest, im Dezember, da gibt es das Manifest Your Dreams Island Retreat bzw. Intuitive Retreat, dann kann ich dir empfehlen, bis zum 31. Juli ist noch Frühbucherrabatt und da kannst du noch einiges sparen. Ansonsten geht es im November nach Marrakesch, dann gibt es im November noch ein Rebirthing Retreat mit Kundalini Yoga und mit Sound Healing und du wirst 100%ig auch Mantras von Snatam Kaur hören. Und es gibt Aufstellungstage online und ja, noch viel mehr. Schau einfach auf meiner Website vorbei. Am 8.8. wird nicht nur das Thema der Kinderwunscherfüllung kommen, sondern auch am 8.8. ist es Lionsgate Portal und dazu wird es ein Special geben. Schau einfach auf meiner Website nach und ich freue mich auf alle, die mit dabei sind und eintauchen in diesen wundervollen, besonderen Tag. Namaste und Satnam, deine Nadine.